their first major trophy since 1972, when they won the German Cup. Just getting a check on the teams here. This is the Inter lineup. Roy Hodgson has had a lot of problems. His final choice influenced by suspensions and injuries. No Paul Ince, Djorkaeff or Anglemar, the two Frenchmen, they're all banned. And also doubts over a host of others, and it seems one or two at least in this starting 11 are by no means 100% fit, including Frazee and Gats. They've both been unwell earlier in the week. Still, it's not a bad-looking side. Gats partnering Chilean star Zamorano in attack. Swiss international Sforza in midfield, with Holland's Schalke were also beaten in their league game at the weekend. Paganin. Schalke have been very impressive en route to the final in terms of their home games. They've won all 5 and they haven't conceded a single goal yet. So Inter may well have to be at their most resolute defensively tonight. Coach Roy Hodgson, of course, desperate to leave on a winning note. He's heading off for Blackburn in the English Premier. Up by Frazee, who seemed to be caught then by Nemec, the other man from the Czech Republic. Rub Stevens is the coach of this Schalke team, and he's really turned things around because they were in some disharmony earlier in the season before his arrival. A players' dispute indeed. So this UEFA Cup run has been a terrific boost for them. Stevens, in fact, came from Roda, who ironically had been beaten by Schalke earlier in the UEFA Cup campaign. By Frazee, then Sforza. This is Gats, who's very quick feet, this fella, and he's the top scorer for Inter, 8 goals in the UEFA Cup this season. Winter, fairly rare start for him. He's been drafted in with Inter's various selection problems. Sforza with a dangerous ball just beyond Gats, who arrived on the scene, policed by De Kock, the Dutch international. 5 goals in the last 4 in the UEFA Cup for Gats. Nicola Berti there among the substitutes tonight. He at Bergamy hoping to win the UEFA Cup for the 3rd time with the same club. That came off Paganin. Paganin, who's Inter's vice-captain. Bergamy with the captain's armband. On by Andelbrugger. Now Nemec, good approach play here from Schalke. And it was the Belgian striker Vilmots on the end of the cross. Vilmots, who's the top scorer for Schalke in the competition. 5 goals before tonight. Some cohesive link-up play then from the Germans. Nemec with time to pick out his man in the middle, and it was Vilmots with Galante in very close attendance. Maybe just did enough to deter him then, Galante. Away by Paganin. Inter have lost 2 of their 5 away legs in this season's UEFA Cup, against Casino Graz and Monaco, who they eventually overcame, or indeed did overcome in the semi-finals. They won 3-1 at home, Inter. Schalke reached the final by beating Tenerife in the semis. They lost 1-0, the away leg, but then turned it round with a 2-0 victory here in Gelsenkirchen. Forward by De Kock. Galante, a slip by him. Pistone was covering though. Sforza. Winter to his left. Michael Rauch there was first to it for Schalke. Winter. The Dutch international seeking out the run from Zamorano. who's been in great form for his country of late. He got 5 in the last international for Chile. Free kick to Schalke. Nemec sliding it on for his compatriot Latel. What a good tackle by Pistone. One of the best young defenders in the Italian game. But the referee either didn't approve of that one or it was a follow-up tackle. Either way, a free kick to Schalke. And they've moved it quickly forward again. There's Frazee to win it back for Inter. Now Pistone. Rather casual clearance by him. Here's Eigerauch. Pistone, that to Frazee. He's been playing at the back lately, but was in midfield earlier in the season, so it's not an unfamiliar role for him. Here's Nemec, who's a busy player behind the front two. Hit off then by Muller. Linker. Then De Kock. Another man who featured in Euro 96, De Kock, for the Dutch national team. Pagliuca, Inter's only ever present in all competitions this season. Here's Katz. Support from Bergomi. 33 now, Bergomi. Amazing to think he played in the 1982 World Cup finals. Latal. Then Eigerauch with a back pass to Jens Lehmann. He's been with the club some 10 years now, the goalkeeper. Very much the first choice. Over 150 Bundesliga appearances to his name. Frazee seeing a lot of the ball in midfield. Here's Maurizio Gatz. Now Zanetti. Inter's best player in the early months of the season. Hasn't quite maintained that form. Frazee. Nearly fell then for Zamorano. Impish figure up front, Zamorano. It's just the 1 goal in Europe this season, but he's got 11 overall, including 6 in the Italian league. Nothing like as prolific so far, though, as of course in his Real Madrid days. Here's Sforza. Gatz, good coordination play then from Inter, but Zamorano eventually making no headway. This is Buskens. Now Anderbrugge. Ten minutes gone. Fairly cautious start by both teams, as you'd expect. I think both games are going to be very tight. Flicked off the head of Galante to Bergomi. That tally of 98 European ties, incidentally, for Bergomi is a record. He's beaten the previous one held by Hetto. Remember him, the great Real Madrid player from the 60s. Galante to tidy up. Former Genoa defender. His first season with Inter. Of course, Festa was playing earlier in the season, but then he moved on to Middlesbrough in the English Premier. Gatz, good tackle by Linker. Did really well then, the defender. Nemec to Latal. Then Eigerauch. Top with a return pass, which was a little wayward. Schalke have done well to retain possession, but at the expense of a man being injured over on that far side. Here's to Cook. Tall, elegant defender. Nemec. Latal making a forward run. They're well represented in the middle here. Latal taking on Pistone. Dangerous cross. Inter have dealt with it. And eventually Sforza seeking out but not finding Aaron Winter. Here's to Cook. Featured in every game in Euro 96 for the Dutch team. He certainly played his part in the European run for Schalke. He's got a couple of goals and has defended with great resilience. Good play by Vilmots. Latal. Pistone just getting to the ball in time. Latal. Vilmots. His perseverance almost paid off then. Maybe just spotting an opening on the near post. He had teammates supporting in the middle, which might have been a better option for him. I think he just felt that Paliuka was slightly off his line. But the angle was too tight. But Schalke beginning now to assume command. Roy Hodgson, who certainly had his critics with Inter this season. Is he going to leave on a winning note? Desperately wants to do so. Well, he's been saying all season Inter's senior squad isn't big enough, and well, he's in many ways been proved right. He's had problems with getting the right team out this evening. Olaf Thon on Nemec. This is Linker. Linker again. Played in the old East German Oberliga with Rot-Weiss Erfurt before coming to Schalke back in '92. Thon venturing forward now. Such a talented player, Olaf Thon. Former Bayern Munich player, of course. And despite all his years in the game, it's his first European final. Just to Cook, holding off Zamorano. Nemec. Handball. And that will be a caution for Galante. And he is on a yellow card from a previous game, so he will now be out of the second leg. Setback then for Inter. The yellow card for Fabio Galante. "15 minutes gone." Olaf Thon hovering in attendance here. Thon again. Did well to whip his crossover, but Inter had sufficient cover. Inter with some 4,000 fans who travelled to Germany for this game tonight. But it's the home fans who are making most of the noise, especially that chap with the drum. Don't think he's watching the game. That was Bergamy. Busquets giving it away, and it was out of play off Zanetti, was it? No, the referee's given a free kick to Inter. We've often met German opposition over two legs in the past, 10 occasions indeed in Europe, and they've come through on 8 of those. Bergamy with the free kick. Busquets to clear, only as far as Bergamy. Muller then out-jumped. Here's Vilmots. And the free kick going Inter's way. Frazee taking the kick. wasting his opportunity. Salvatore Frese, gastroenteritis almost ruled him out of this game tonight. That's the way of it so far. 17 minutes in. Vilmots. Paganini refusing him the chance to turn. Good defender, Paganini. Generally, they have been very well disciplined throughout this campaign, despite some disappointing results. Certainly too strong for Monaco in the semi-finals. 3-1 at home, 1-0 away. As I was saying earlier. They also beat Cancun of France, Casino Graz, Boavista, the Portuguese club, and Anderlecht in the quarter-finals. Schalke came through against Roda of Holland, Trabzonspor, the Turkish side, Bruges from Belgium, Valencia, and then Tenerife in the semis. Linker. And the decision going against Latal. Certainly a tense occasion for both teams. Certainly for Schalke, who, remember, have never played at this level before. And it was no easy passage for them against Tenerife. They needed extra time in that semi-final. Some controversial moments too, I recall, over the two games. Here's to Cook. Support by Igan Rauch, but he's no chance of reaching that one. No real clear-cut opening for either team as yet. Paganini. Then Bogomi. Closed down by Anderbrugge. His sixth successive start in Europe this season, Bogomi. He hasn't been an automatic choice in the Interside, but he's been a regular again over the past few months now. Paganini with the kick. Zamorano could make nothing of it. Away comes Ton. Igan Rauch, 26 last month, looks a little older. And Leben put under some pressure then, but he retained his composure. This is Igan Rauch. Came from Arminia Bielefeld back in 1990. Chances very much at a premium so far. Vilmots very determined in the tackle then against Winter. Igan Rauch. Now this is promising. Nemec confronted by Winter. And they're in great voice at the moment, the fans of Schalke. What can they do with this corner? Zamorano back defending. Nemec trying to force it through. This is Ton. Given away though by Schalke's captain. Winter. Nearly released Sforza then. Swanson has been playing with a micro fracture in his shin bone for some time now, but Inter's personnel problems have forced him to carry on playing. So Roy Hodgson's point about not having enough depth in his squad has been emphasised really by the current crop of injuries. And Djorkaeff, a big loss for them tonight. He's had a tremendous season, the French international. Zamorano felt he was being kicked then in the chest. Nemec, a little sloppily, conceding the throw. Played in every game in Euro 96, Yuri Nemec, 30 now. He's also in the Czech side that reached the quarter-finals in Italia 90. Paganin. Zamorano spring-heeled but beaten in the air. Tom laying it tidily off. Muller with the long ball. This is Galante. We're halfway through the first half. So far so good for Inter, who have already played in 2 UEFA Cup finals this decade, and they won them both against Roma in '91 and then '94 against Casino Salzburg, the Austrian team. Muller. A bit too predictable again from Schalke there. Gantz. Here's Pistone, who enjoys getting forward, but I'm sure his coach will have issued strict instructions that he's not to venture up too often. Off Galante for a throw to Schalke. Roy Hodgson none too pleased with his team's defending there. Tom bending his crossover, dealt with by Paganin. Muller. And the veteran midfielder did well then to work it back to Linker. And de Brugge. Again, Inter getting bodies in the way. Here's Zamorano. Was he brought down then by Linker? The referee says yes. Mark Batar. Didn't play in the first leg of the semi-final, or rather the second leg. Zamorano, he scored in the first leg, his one and only goal in Europe this season. He was suspended for the second leg in Monaco. Here's Zanetti. Haven't seen too much of him so far. And de Brugge. Certainly Schalke have got to give it their best shot tonight. They will want some kind of lead to defend in the San Siro. It's a rare shot at goal that we've seen from them so far. And de Brugge, well wide of goal too. Hasn't scored yet in Europe this season. He's the team's penalty expert. He holds the club record for penalties in the Bundesliga. 18 out of 21, so if they get a penalty, they'll be relying on him with some confidence. Of course, de Cook took a penalty against Tenerife and missed it. And de Brugge. Tom scrapping. That's good play by Schalke. Can they find an end product? In goes Nemec. And de Brugge going for goal. He didn't really get hold of his shot though, and it's skimmed into the arms of Pagliuca. But they are beginning to get a grip now, Schalke. He'd have done well to have beaten Pagliuca from there, in truth. But he looks a decent player, this fellow. Ingo and de Brugge. He's on the ball now, the number 8. He's 33, so he's been around a while. There's a fair amount of experience in this Schalke side, albeit not at European level necessarily. The Cook, Vilmots rather, then Nemec. This is Eigenrauch. Flags up for offside against certainly Latal, maybe Vilmots as well. But at least now they are beginning to threaten the Inter goal. That's the cross there, Vilmots certainly off, yes, two of them there. Paganini reading the situation well, holding the line. Latal had strayed and so had Vilmots. Schalke, remember, in their first European final in the club's 93-year history. Certainly this man, Olaf Thon, is looking forward to the return in the San Siro, a venue he knows well from his time at Bayern and with the German national team. Zanetti, out of favour at the moment with the Argentine national team. Winter, now Zamorano, who is certainly very much a first choice with Chile, with his recent goal spree. Pistone and the two number 3s in collision, and it's a corner to Inter. Playing in their 7th European final. They've won 4 of their previous 6, 2 in the Champions Cup, 2 in the UEFA Cup. So they have an outstanding pedigree at this level. And De Brugge guarding the post. Here's Sforza with a corner kick. Eventually. Zamorano lurking in the centre. Paganini has come up from the back. That was Zamorano. Not that far away. He's a real danger in the air. Not the tallest of strikers, Zamorano. But he has the ability to leap for crosses with excellent timing. Thon. Again, directing operations from the sweeper role. It's Muller and Eigenrauch. Winter barring the way for Nemec. Nemec, Vilmots, but he might have let it run on then for De Brugge, and that's too easy really for Paliuca. So with half an hour gone, Schalke with the bulk of the possession, Inter with 1 or 2 dangerous raids on the break, and half a chance, a couple of minutes back for Zamorano. But mainly, Schalke on the offensive, as they hope to be now, with a free kick going their way. Thon. Frazy. No, not where Gantz wanted that ball played. Neman not really tested so far. Just that effort from Zamorano that whistled past his post. But Inter playing really as we anticipated they would. On the defensive, getting players back behind the ball, and then trying to catch Schalke on the counter-attack. Eigenrauch. De Cook taking his chance to come forward now. Slowing it forward well too, Nemec. Paganini very cool at the back. Here's Frazy. Inter on the break. Gantz. Then Frazy. Schwarzer outmaneuvered, and I think he manhandled the number 6 Müller there. So a free kick to Schalke, who, as they will have anticipated, are finding it hard going against Inter. Well organised defensively, Roy Hodgson's team. And they won't be at all unhappy if it stays this way at 0-0. Come the end of the 90 minutes. Second leg to come in the San Siro, where Inter have been very strong in Europe. And generally in Serie A, though they've had a few hiccups there, including last weekend, as I was saying earlier. Shock defeat by Vicenza. This is Vilmots, who's playing with plenty of verve and gusto up front. But a very casual pass then that could be punished. Here's Pistone. Zamorano in the middle. Not the best of service to him. No wonder he's looking frustrated. That was a real chance then for Inter, caused by some sloppy play in the midfield by Schalke. Pistone tracking back against Latal. Well, the Schalke players and certainly the home crowd felt that he barged him over then, Pistone. I think the referee didn't see it that way. It must have been, my view was that Latal has made a meal of that. Let's see it again on the replay here. Pistone, I think, to shepherd him out. Well, there was a little bit of a shove there. And it seemed to send Latal clattering into the boards. Painful for him, but the referee was unconvinced. And saw no offence. Latal, whose pace has certainly unsettled Inter at times. Pagliuca having to hurry back against Latal. Pagliuca saying, look, hang on, you've given us the ball back. Shades of Chris Sutton at Blackburn in the Arsenal game the other week. Obviously it all unnerved Pagliuca. Pistone's back pass, and Pagliuca can try again. Only one clean sheet in the last 2 months from Pagliuca, but plenty of important saves from this really agile goalkeeper. Hasn't been called on too much tonight so far to underline that expertise. Is Fresi. Winter, Schalke, who for the most part have bossed the midfield. Coming forward again now. And De Brugge. Faced by Bergomi. Not too many have got the better of him down the years. Busquets with the cross. Again, it comes to nothing though. Once more, no real penetration about Schalke's approach play. Ten minutes of the first half to go, and it's still Schalke 0, Inter 0 in this UEFA Cup final first leg in the Parkstadion in Gelsenkirchen. Pagani's long ball. Not giving too much of a chance to Gantz. It is Eigenrauch. Latal. Then Zamorano for Inter. Eigenrauch back in possession. Nemec. 1972, Schalke's last major title or trophy. They won the German Cup. They have won 7 league championships, but they were all many years ago. 1958, the last one. And they have really constantly underachieved during their history. This is Tom. Good efforts. Too close to Paliuka, but at least a strike at goal from Olaf Tom. Plenty of power, but not sufficient accuracy. And a routine save, really, certainly for goalkeeper of Paliuka's class. But that at least has lifted the home crowd. They've always been one of the best supported clubs in the Bundesliga, Schalke. But their performances over the past few decades have rarely lived up to their fans' aspirations. Vilmots has come back to mark Galante. Fraser with a kick. Galante indeed is the target. Just a cork out there with him now. Theatrical dive by Galante, which didn't impress me, but the referee bought it. Free kick then to Inter. Sforza going across to take it. They posted Paganin forward and Galante, and of course Zamorano is in there too. Always a menace from this kind of situation. Bit of jostling going on involving Galante and the Cook. Setting a dangerous line there. Oh, the keeper lost it! Headed out from underneath the crossbar and then away for the corner. Busquets saved it there. Total misjudgment by Lehmann. Just lost the flight of the ball completely. Luckily for him, Busquets was behind him. Out comes the keeper to redeem himself, but still drops it behind for the corner. Jittery goalkeeping by Lehmann. That will raise Inter's spirits. Gantz with his corner kick. The linesman will move out of the way. Oh, he's bent that too close to Lehmann. A few ironic cheers from the home fans. In fairness to him, he's been pretty consistent, Lehmann, over the season. Been over the decade. Down goes Yves Egenrauch. And it will be a free kick to Schalke. Yet to concede a goal, remember, at home in the UEFA Cup this season. 5 straight wins. But into different kettle of fish, really. They don't give too much away. Zanetti hooked it forward as he was caught then by Anderbrugge. Schalke's throw. Tripped by Fraser. On Muller as we move into the last 5 minutes of the first half. Vilmots, can he set something up here? Chip through for Latel. And they might have made more of that, Schalke. The evidence so far, they're not going to get too many opportunities. They got the most of the ones that do come their way. Here's Tom. Vilmots going in. Galante eventually managing to clear, only as far as Muller, who has that holding role in midfield. Nemec. Then Lenker's back pass to Lehmann. Found Nemec a little fortuitously. Hodgson wanting more from his team. Certainly as an attacking force, they haven't offered too much so far. Nemec. Egenrauch had space over on that right side. He's been found now by Ton. This then is Egenrauch. Can't get away from Pistone. super season in Europe. Can they cap it all now by winning the competition, Schalke? Gantz failing though to link up with Sforza. Here's Giuseppe Bergomi. Bergomi. Now Sforza. Winter. Zamorano, lovely change of pace then from the Chilean international. Still Zamorano. What a disappointing finale. They're really threatening run then by Zamorano. Electrifying pace. But then he seemed to lose his bearings. Just that one goal, as I was saying earlier, for Zamorano in Europe. Different story with Real Madrid. He got 14 in 4 seasons with them. And of course, a whole stack of goals in the Spanish league before he switched to Serie A. Latal. Now Nemec, the two players from the Czech Republic combining, but Nemec way offbeat. That's been the story of the night so far for Schalke, but nothing is going to dampen their spirits, it seems. Nemec's pretty furious with himself for not at least extending Pagliuca by hitting the target. Winter. Slotted through for Zamorano. Sforza ahead of him, and Maurizio Gantz here. Gantz wriggling free from one challenge, but not the second. Eigenrauch rather aimlessly forward. Time here for Paganini. Now Galante. 23-year-old who was a European Championship winner at under 21 level under Cesare Maldini. Now, of course, the Italian senior coach. The last minute now of the first half. Bergomi for Inter. Zanetti. This is Fresi, who has a fairly senior role in the absence of Ince tonight. Ince, who's been such a driving force for Inter. They're certainly missing him. And Djorkaeff, Anglomar also absent from the team sheet. Two other regulars. As Galante's challenge. Found 1-2. Paganini. And again, his anticipation very much to the fore then, Paganini. He's having a splendid game at the back, and he's found Maurizio Gantz here. Gantz with the shot! Tipped over by Jens Lehmann. Good effort then from Gantz. And that's the closest we've come to a goal in the first half. Paganini's pass releasing Gantz. Again showing his speed of thought there. Might just have been heading into the top corner, but for the intervention by Lehmann. Here's the corner. The dying seconds of the first half. Comfortable claim by Lehmann. Former Olympic and under-21 international. He started all 10 UEFA Cup games prior to this one. Maintaining his ever-present record, and that was a very important save from Gantz. The last significant action of the first 45 minutes. So Schalke with some rethinking to do. They found it really hard to break Inter down. Inter's tight defence, well organised around Paganini and Galante. And it's Gantz at the other end who has come closest to a goal with an effort just before half-time, well saved by Lehmann. Otherwise, not too many chances really for either team. Everything to play for in the second half. Half-time in the Parkstadion in Gelsenkirchen in this UEFA Cup final first leg. It's Schalke 0, Inter 0. In the Parkstadion, Gelsenkirchen, Schalke 0, Inter from Milan 0. No goals and not many genuine opportunities in a very committed contest. Inter compact defensively have been only seriously breached on the odd occasion for all Schalke's honest endeavour. as Marc Matin, the referee from France, gets the second half underway. Indeed, Inter themselves a bit nearest to taking the lead. Le Mans saving athletically from Maurizio Gantz just before half-time. Schalke will certainly feel they need at least one goal to give them something tangible to cling to come the second leg into San Siro. This is Zamorano, Aaron Winter. Now Galante looking for the run of Gantz. He turned well. Couldn't provide the right finish, but he's looking very sharp at times tonight, Maurizio Gantz. Even though Inter have mainly been on the defensive, when they've managed to service Gantz, and also Zamorano, they have looked sharp up there. Vilmots. Eigenrauch. Latal is in his third season now with Schalke. The man from the Czech Republic. This is Eigenrauch taking the throw. Eigenrauch. The linesman not impressed. Paul Fraze's reaction here. Fraze trying to shield the ball, and Eigenrauch clipped his heel. In fairness to Fraze, that can be rather painful. And he is receiving some urgent repairs now. Again, and fairly well drilled defensively. Now can they spring from defence to attack? Zanetti. Grounded out in midfield. Nemec. Busquets. Nemec again. Touched by Anderbrugger. And then Zanetti with a challenge on number 19, Busquets. No doubt about who he supports, Schalke. Schalke 04 to give them their full title, FC Schalke 04. Latal. What a lift a goal would give them now at the start of this second half. Nemec. Game that's yet to ignite, really, in truth. Gantz with some lovely work down his left side for it to Zamorano at the far post. Gantz failing to deliver. He might get a second chance. But the Cook made sure that didn't happen. Now Fraze is back on the field, albeit a little gingerly. Inter will be very anxious that his mobility isn't affected. He was very influential in the first half. That's a foul by Sforza. Well, he's done his best to keep the game flowing tonight, Bata. The home crowd beginning to raise the volume now around the Park Stadium. Won by Busquets. That was Tom. He's in his second spell with Schalke. He began his career with them before his successful time with Bayern, and then back in '94, Olaf Tom. In his first European final. Zanetti. Bergamy had drifted forward to his right, but no way forward. for Zanetti. So here's Paganini. It's been a real powerhouse at the back tonight. Bergami with the throw. Rauch had lost out there. And Zanetti went forward. Zamorano had come short. This is Zanetti. No way past again. Pistone, then Galante. Paganini. This is Zamorano. Turned back into Busquets. And the Brugge to Nemec. Gans chasing. Nemec with the header to De Brugge. A loose header there, that's been pounced on, but Galante to the rescue, and he's furious with his teammate there for conceding possession too easily. Busquets to De Brugge. Here's Nemec. Then Tom sweeping it forward. Galante looked to be the master in the air, but in fact there could be a chance brewing here. Rauch slotting it through. Paganini. An interception rather than a back pass from Paganini. Frazy. That was Rauch. Paganini. Now Frazy lofting it forward, but not quite into the path of Gans. Bit of activity here among the Schalke substitutes. Martin Max is among them. He's the top scorer for Schalke over the past couple of seasons, so maybe they'll introduce him. Busquets. Laid off by Vilmots. Muller. Just too long for Rauch. Never really looked like it there before. Pistone. He shaded the sprint with it. Well, Schalke may need to pep up their attacking options. They certainly won't want this to remain goalless. It's such a difficult night to come into San Siro. Zamorano feeding Gans. Now, what support does he have here? Aaron Winter. Dutchman just making room for himself. Now it's Frazy with a more direct approach, but not a successful one. Tom. Well, the German press have dubbed Schalke the Euro fighters for their never say die spirit at the UEFA Cup campaign. They certainly need to keep going here. Nemec. Offside. Rantel, the unlucky man, but he had just set off a mite too soon then. I think there's a couple there offside. So again, Inter proving unshakable defensively. Paganini with Galante, the central pairing. They've been very effective so far. This is Frazy. Hard working ahead of them. He seems to have shaken off that injury from earlier in the half. Muller. 34-year-old. Here's Ton. It'll fall for Galante. Pagliuca under no real pressure. 10 minutes into the second half. Zamorano is the player down, but no question of a foul, not in the referee's eyes anyway. De Cook was the man who caught him. Gantz failing to stay upright, but no free kick going his way. The match is going into as though you feel, as long as it stays at 0-0. We'll be more than content with that, knowing that home advantage then switches to them. Latal. Tom now joining in the play. Busquets laid off to Ton. And Latal. Nemec going forward. Again confronted by a posse of Inter defenders hunting in a pack there. Just flicked off the head of Paganin. This could be dangerous. And De Brugge with the cross. In goes Latal. Just couldn't get on the end of it, no. But behind for the corner. So that's raised the crowd's morale. Not to mention the Schalke players. Such a big night for them in their first European final. Olaf Tom. Muller failing to get a decisive foot to the ball, but he'll take this throw. Now Ton. Muller again. Almost lazily though, hitting it behind. Pagliuca, who's been saying this week he hopes Inter won't make a hero of him yet again. We always seem to concede goals. Let's hope it's a different story in the final. This is pre-match quote. Pagliuca, who was the winner of the Cup Winners' Cup with Sampdoria back in 1990. Gantz. Caught by Ton. Busquets. Then De Brugge. But now the counter-attack is on for Inter. Zamorano, who's drifted out to that far side. Good tackle though to deny him any further progress. And De Brugge. Now Vilmots. Well, they're still not really stretching Inter in any way. For all their passion and their desire and their appetite for the game tonight, Schalke, you can't fault them on that. So it's Eigenrauch pulling it back. Vilmots was the man in the middle. Now Busquets. And De Brugge with a deft touch, but it's easily read by Paganin. He strides elegantly out of defence. But the move breaking down. As Linker slides it back to his goalkeeper. Now Muller. They've got to show more urgency in the last third of the field. Schalke. No real cutting edge to their play. Here's Eigenrauch. To Latal. Vilmots to Busquets, then De Brugge. Out comes Zanetti. Lovely play too by the Argentine. Still Zanetti trying to hold off Nemec, who clearly was impeding him. Javier Zanetti. No real explanation from Passarella, the coach of Argentina, as to why he's not in favour these days. He's Inter's only ever-present outfield player in Europe this season. Very consistent he's been too. So with an hour gone, no sign of a breakthrough for Schalke. It's Berti, another very experienced man in the Inter ranks, who it seems is going to play a part soon. Galante hoisting it forward, offers to Cook. Now Chiriaco Sforza. Muller was snapping at his heels, unfairly so. It's a tigerish midfielder, Muller. Too robust, then too aggressive for the referee's liking. So Sforza with a free kick. Yes, Frazier is going to have to go off, so the injury clearly is still causing him discomfort. And Nicola Berti, 30 years old, is now thrust into the limelight. Just 9 starts this season in all competitions from Berti, but 3 of those have been in the UEFA Cup. Hasn't really been quite the same since sustaining 2 major knee injuries in the past 3 seasons. But his galloping style may well pose a problem or two for Schalke. We'll have to deal with this free kick for the moment. And De Brugge. Straight to Sforza. Nemec was after him like a dog after a bone. Here's Galante. Paganin to Zanetti. Sforza. Here's Victor. I think maybe he'll push out wide right now. Berti perhaps will go on the left, with Zanetti switching to the centre of midfield. We'll see how it pans out. Eigenrauch. And Busquets. Sforza turning very sharply. And he spotted the run there of Berti. Intelligent thinking by Sforza. Couldn't quite deliver the right pass. So now it's Latal for Schalke. Eigenrauch was almost asleep. Little 1-2 with the referee by Zamorano, which doesn't come off. Busquets. And De Brugge. Now it's Nemec. This is Busquets. Eigenrauch bending his way to this attack. Tom. Now can he provide a moment of inspiration here? Well, not that way. So, as I think most people thought, it's proving a very tough experience tonight for this little-known team from Germany's Ruhr Valley, from the industrial heartland. Inter, one of the giants of the European game down the years. They've lost only 7 of 46 competitive games this season. And this is Gats now, faced by De Cook. Still Gats, no De Cook. Made a good recovery then. Foul by Winter, and Latal will leave the free kick for De Cook. Maybe a change of tactic is needed now. I think we might see some fresh blood on the field fairly soon for Schalke. Zamorano. Here's Linker, who was one of their scorers, Schalke, in the semi-final win, the second leg against Tenerife. Vilmots getting the other one. Sforza. Gats with that clever flick on. Now Zamorano. Hitting it on the rise, but not really catching hold of it. But they are certainly looking as likely to score as Schalke, if not more so. Gats with that chance at the end of the first half. The best of the night so far. Denied by the defiance in goal of Jens Lehmann. 65 minutes gone. So almost halfway through the second half. Still defensively Inter very much in command. Paganin. Vilmots just backing off. Certainly not pressurising Inter in their own half. I think they need a bit more devil up front, get amongst them a bit. De Kok with a free header. That'll be a free kick. Buskins upended. And he is now going to be sacrificed, Michael Buskins, for Martin Max, who we had expected to be in from the off tonight. Schalke's top scorer, as I was saying earlier, in each of the past two seasons since his move from Mönchengladbach back in '95, Max. Got 11 goals this season. Top scorer in the Bundesliga for Schalke. Here's Anderbrugger, trying to swing his crossover. Max. Crowded out in the end. Clever chest off then by Maurizio Gats. But Inter hustled out of it by Latau until the Dutchman hauled him back. Now Roy Hodgson apparently unhappy at that decision, being told to take his seat again. Hodgson himself was saying beforehand he doesn't understand why Inter are made favourites for this. They're not in the 60s now when Inter was so dominant, he says. And he was also saying how much he feared the Germans' physical strength. But we don't intend just to sit back and defend, he was saying. We'll try and play our own game. Well, they've defended commendably. Beatty. This is Galante. Now Gats onside. Well, Schalke were looking there for an offside flag that was not forthcoming. And now Inter have a corner. Galante will stay up. He had advanced to play his part in the build-up to that move. Zamorano waits in the middle. There's Galante just in front of him. And while Inter will settle for 0-0, how they would dearly love an away goal. And the referee has seen an infringement to relieve the pressure on Schalke. Anderbrugger to Thomas Linke. Galante, the covering defender. It's a poor clearance though by him. They might get punished. Vilmots hitting it well! Hitting it very well. Mark Vilmots has scored for Schalke. The goal coming right out of nothing, really. 69 minutes, a breakthrough at last for Schalke that has stunned Inter. If anything, they were looking more threatening themselves at the other end. No wonder Paliuka is screaming at his defenders. They were sloppy then, but what a terrific strike by Mark Vilmots, his 6th goal in Europe this season. The club's leading marksman during their campaign, and he drove it so accurately beyond the sprawling figure of Paliuka. That's a great finish. Oh my word, he let fly then. Paliuka can't reach it. And now Inter have to come from behind. Mark Vilmots, the scorer. The Belgian, who was a hero of the semi-final, remember, with his goal in the second leg. And he's done it again to spark off the celebrations around the ground. Now I wonder, will Inter be more adventurous, or will they settle for this and hope to turn it round in the San Siro? Hit it so cleanly, that Vilmots. It was a fair distance out. So that save from Laman just before half-time from Gantz, looking very significant now. The sparklers are out. Certainly the volume of noise is being raised around the stadium. A cracking atmosphere now. But can Schalke build on this? One goal may not be enough. Hook Stevens will certainly want them to continue attacking, continue seeking the cushion of another goal. Brugger to Olaf Tom. Linker and the Brugger. That's a free kick to Inter for the foul on Bergamy. By Vilmots, the goal scorer. What a vital goal that is for his team. They really were struggling to find any kind of means of perforating Inter's defence. Berti. This is Zanetti. Now Pistone. Sforza. Swapping passes with Winter, but then giving it away, Sforza. Schalke are fired up now. May have said beforehand, Inter are certainly the favourites over 2 games to win this final, especially with the Italian pedigree in the competition. They've won the UEFA Cup 6 times in the last 8 years. Inter twice, Juventus twice, Napoli and Parma. The victory is on their minds now, the fans of Schalke. Retrievers so often in the past. Is this going to be their year? They lead 1-0. Well inside the last 20 minutes now. Ton letting it run through. Knowing that Linker was behind him. Bergamy to Sforza. Inter missing the guile, the artistry of Djorkaeff, who's been the architect of so many of their goals this season, as well as scoring 15 himself. They'll hope to, well, they will have it back for the second leg. Ince, maybe Anglomar as well. So injuries permitting, it'll be a stronger Inter side that will have to face Bergamy. Showing his strength and determination there, Bergamy. Now Zamorano. To Zanetti. No real power there to extend Leman. 15 minutes to go. Vilmots losing out in midfield, but assistance was on hand. Now it's Rauch, who's been a tireless worker. So is Muller. No foul by Sforza. Here come Inter again. Zamorano. Berti. This is Pistone. Now Victor. Not for too much time. Galante. Pistone. And the Italian under-21 international left writhing on the ground. Paganini coming across to cover the run from Max. Excellent work by Paganini. One of only 3 current Inter players who've taken part in the club's UEFA Cup triumphs. 1 to 3 years ago, I'm referring to. Well, he was only a squad player then. To remember also winners in 91, that was before Paganini's time. Vilmots looking to launch another attack now then for Schalke. Muller to try to keep it in. Taking on Pistone, who made a dramatic recovery from his injury moments earlier. And the referee says no foul. Well, he certainly got round him then, Muller. Did seem to have lost his balance, but surely he looked to be clattered then by Pistone. The referee didn't concur with that view. Here's Bergomi. Paliuca rather, who's had so little to do really, but saw that shot fly past him from Vilmots that divides the two teams on the night. Latal. His reaction will tell you. It's a throw to Inter. And the referee has overruled his assistant. I'm in charge. Rauch taking this throw then for Schalke. Latal looking for the byline. It might just have got a nick then off the Inter defender. Zamorano the target. Berti going right into the back of Nebec. So Inter's frustration is beginning to show a little now. Stays this way, they will expect to overhaul Schalke in the second game, but it won't be easy. They can certainly ill afford to concede another one. With the kick. Asking a bit too much there of Zamorano. Deco comfortably winning it in the air. Then it's Winter to Zamorano. Pistone overlapping down the left side. Winter. Load off to Berti. Now Chiriaco Sforza. Getting a second crack at it. De Kock with the header. Pistone settling for the throw, but Inter not settling for 1-0 defeat. Galante. Paganini. Schalke on the back foot now. Paganini launching it too long though for Zamorano. Schalke hoping to become the 4th German club to win the UEFA Cup, following Borussia Mönchengladbach. They won it twice, and Eintracht Frankfurt, and also Bayer Leverkusen. They were the last German side to win it in 1988. We're into the last 10 minutes. Ton, who has happy memories of Italy, of course, having been with the German squad in 1990. Well, they're enjoying this a lot more now, the fans of Schalke, than they were earlier in the match, when they were creating so little, really. But then a goal right out of the blue by the men in blue means that Inter have suddenly got a fight on their hands. Rauch. This is Zamorano deceiving Nemec. Berti, well, they call him Crazy Horse, with his rampaging style. Not quite the taste of old, though. And that was rather thoughtless. As the rain descends in the Parkstadion in Gelsenkirchen. The lights, for the moment anyway, are shining on Schalke. Inter's throw. Pistone finding Paganini. Now Zanetti. This is Bogomi. Nicola Berti slipping past the tackle of Muller. They're finding it difficult then to evade Nemec, who took a whack in the face for his troubles. The upshot of it all is a free kick to Inter, which Gantz is preparing to take. Zamorano, a prime target in the middle. But it's no problem for Jens Lehmann. He quickly now has released Nemec down that left side. Max in the middle, but poor service from Nemec. Pistone. They have really, in truth, barely created more than a handful of half chances, Schalke, tonight, but they have taken one that's come their way. And it was no more than a half chance, the distance that he was from goal. Vilmots. And I wonder now just how important that strike is going to be. Certainly they have something to defend in the San Siro if it stays this way. Sforza. Now Paganini. Now for the most part he's been immaculate at the back, Paganini. This is Rauch. Supported by Latel. Rauch again. Oh, no one has toiled harder than this fellow. Latal relieving him of the throw. Ton. Latal. Rauch trying to release Latal, but Galate had read his intentions. A quick kiss and back it comes. Schalke going for this second goal now. It will mean so much to them. Latal to Nemec. Now Tom trying to squeeze it through. De Kock. Beatty with the block on Tom. 5 minutes remaining. And what they simply must not do, Schalke, now is to concede a goal, having established this advantage. All their efforts will be in vain, really, if they give a goal away, a vital away goal. Winter. Here's Zamorano. That was excellent play then by Zamorano. Beatty just can't slot it through. Here comes Schalke. Nemec. Latal. Nemec has shown inside for him here. Up goes Latal again. The two Czech players combining. Bastone with Latal. Inter's free kick. Showing a little more urgency now, as they endeavour to snatch a goal back and bring this tie level. Aaron Winter. Well, Katz had pulled away to the far post, and that was a futile journey for him. Now Bertie has put it out of play. Just keep it calm now, will be the message from the coach. Don't give anything away now. Let's at least hang on to what we have. And who knows, it might yet be a really valuable goal. Inter have proved themselves vulnerable this season. And it's all set up for a cracking second leg, if it does stay this way now. Zamorano. Wide for Winter. He didn't appreciate that pass. On by Max. Paganini. He has Bergami to his right. And Zanetti here. Now it's Bergami. Lending his support on from Beatty. Rather tentatively, though. Oh, Zanetti out Foxington. Zamorano. Oh, they got terrific height there. But the header didn't trouble Le Mans. Left on. His experience is going to be so important in the return, when they're bound to come under pressure, and maybe severe pressure from Inter. Winter. Galante. Threaded forward for Zamorano. Eigenrauch. I thought I'd run it back off him. Doesn't matter anyway. Here's Latal. Inside the last minute of the 90. Roy Hodgson looking very exasperated. He would have been happy at 0-0. But as it is, they still have plenty to do to turn it round in the San Siro. Inter. Zanetti, Bergami in support. The home fans want it to end now. That's Bergami's cross. Out by De Kock, back in by Winter, flags up for offside. Roy Hodgson. Doesn't look too happy down there, does he? So keen to end his Inter days on a high, Roy Hodgson. It's now just a question of how much he's going to add on. He's not allowing any time wasting, that's for sure. Nemec. Well, keeping a clean sheet could be crucial for Schalke. Max going for the second goal. Not even close, it has to be said, but nonetheless, a shooting chance for the substitute, Martin Max. Well, now it looks as if he is going to have to settle for the one goal. Off the head of Winter to Eigenrauch. We're now into the second minute of time added on. Pastone wants to get on with it. Paganini. Zanetti having to backpedal. It's all over. The first leg has finished in victory. Just a one goal for Schalke. Scored by Mark Vilmots. A stunning goal it was too. With just over 20 minutes remaining. Olaf Thon outstanding at the back. And you feel he will have to be again in the second leg when Inter will throw everything at Schalke in their bid to win this UEFA Cup. A really tight contest tonight. I think it'll be exactly the same in the second leg when Inter will be on the offensive. But Huub Stevens, for the moment, can dwell on this. A 1-0 victory tonight. They've kept a clean sheet. That was very important to them as well. They haven't conceded that away goal. And we wait to see the outcome now of this UEFA Cup final when Inter take up the reins in the San Siro for the second leg in a fortnight's time. Final score in this UEFA Cup final, first leg in the Parkstadion in Gelsenkirchen. Schalke 1, Inter 0.
Friday on Fox Sports 2, the Super League Tri-Series Game 2. New Zealand versus Queensland. The Kiwis enter the Tri-Series with a side virtually unchanged from their loss to Australia and have the crucial home advantage at Ericsson Stadium. But the Maroons are out for blood and have to get a result if they're to qualify for the series final. The Super League Tri-Series Game 2. New Zealand versus Queensland. Friday 10:30 on Fox Sports 2.
Blue or red? To some, it's simply which one's your favourite colour. But to most Englishmen, it's a matter of life and death. Live from Wembley Stadium, the game that stops a nation. Chelsea, looking for their first win in 27 years.
Brilliant!
Middlesbrough, looking for their first win ever.
And that is 3-0.
The FA Cup Final, Saturday, May 17th, live on Fox Sports.
There are two ways to really rev it up on May 25th. One way.
This is not slam, crash, damn dirty. This is racing.
And Smith absolutely on fire here. Way!
Or you can sit back and watch the Indy 500 live on Fox Sports.
So hustle it all the way.
What's wrong with you? You're going to catch some of my road rage.
Caught that.
Keep bumping into me.
Oh, you blew it. Threw it, perhaps the wall. Got a little high.
Make sure you stay cool under pressure. The Indianapolis 500, May 25th, 10:30, live on Fox Sports.
Here it is, the Comedy Channel's Merry, Merry Month of May. It's the month you get to see the biggest stars acting real stupid. 5 nights a week on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Catch him on the Comedy Channel's Late Shift. Tuesdays to Saturdays at 9:30 and at midnight, Late Night with Conan O'Brien.
It's a loss.
You'll see more of Marty Sheargold with Australia's finest comedians on and off the stage. The Comedy Channel's headliners.
Comedy, what a life. Television, drug of a nation.
Richard Feidler hosts our very own Mouthing Off. John Doyle snuggles up to Michael Beach and Magda in the making of nothing.
She's a professional. She was
She's a drunk.
She is not a drunk. She's a addict.
Reflect on the times in Big Girls Blah.
Television here.
More specials when Bob Hoskins heads an all-star cast in The Big Freeze. Catch comedy's biggest names, Jim Carrey and Rowan Atkinson in Just for Laughs. You'll see the world's best comedy performers in 2 new episodes every week.
Should I run the blade of this razor across my tongue?
Somebody stop Dick Dietrich on Nightstand. And Ed's Night Party returns.
Batman's pole was bigger than Robin's.
I don't want to think about that, Adam.
The comedy.
May and Fox Sports plays your sports live. Rugby Union Super 12s exclusively live. Super League Super Action live. Motorsport Australian First 125, 250 and 500cc Grand Prix bikes. Indianapolis 500 Super Bikes all live. Golf. The Aussies are charging. Exclusive live US PGA Tour. Tennis. ATP Tour. Exclusively live. Basketball. NBL live. WNL. Boxing. Big time boxing. Classic fights. Live championship fights. And soccer. That special day in May. The eyes of the football world focus on Wembley. The FA Cup Final. Live. The best of world sport. See it first on Fox Sports. Monday on Fox Sports. The game of the week from the European Super League in a rematch of last week's Challenge Cup. Bradford meets St Helens. Monday at noon, exclusive on Fox Sports.
Now Galante looking for the run of Cats. He turned well. Couldn't provide the right finish, but he's looking very sharp at times tonight, Maurizio Gats. Eigenrauch. The linesman not impressed. Paul Frazie's reaction here. Frazie trying to shield the ball, and Eigenrauch clipped his heel. In fairness to Frazie, that can be rather painful. A game that's yet to ignite, really, in truth. Cats, there's some lovely work down this left side for it to Zamorano at the far post. Cats failing to deliver, but he might get a second chance. Galante looked to be the master in the air, but in fact there could be a chance brewing here. Eigenrauch slotting it through. Paganin. Laid off by Vilmots. Muller. Just too long for Eigenrauch. Never really looked like they'd been there before. Pistone. They certainly need to keep going here. Nebec. Offside. Rantel, the unlucky man. But he had just set off a mite too soon then. I think there's a couple there offside. Again confronted by a posse of inter-defenders hunting an attack there. Just flicked off the head of Paganin. This could be dangerous. And Abruzzo with the cross. In goes Latal. Just couldn't get on the end of it, no. But behind for the corner. So that's raised the crowd's morale. Not to mention the Schalke players. Such a big night for them in their first European final. Olaf Thom. Muller failing to get a decisive foot to the ball. For all their passion and their desire and their appetite for the game tonight, Schalke, you can't fault them on that. So it's Eigenrauch pulling it back. Vilmots was the man in the middle. Schwarzer turning very sharply, and he spotted the run there of Berti. Schwarzer. Gats with that clever flick on. Now Zamorano. Hitting it on the rise, but not really catching hold of it. Berti. Here's Galante. Now Gats. Onside. Well, Schalke were looking there for an offside flag that was not forthcoming. And now Inter have a corner. Galante will stay up. He had advanced to play his part in the build-up to that move. Zamorano waits in the middle. There's Galante just in front of him. And while Inter will settle for 0-0, how they would dearly love an away goal. And the referee has seen an infringement. Galante, the covering defender. It's a poor clearance though by him, and might get punished. Vilmots hitting it well! Hitting it very well. Mark Vilmots has scored for Schalke. The goal coming right out of nothing, really. 69 minutes, a breakthrough at last, Schalke, that has stunned Inter. If anything, they were looking more threatening themselves at the other end. No wonder Paliuka is screaming at his defenders. They were sloppy then, but what a terrific strike by Mark Vilmots, his 6th goal in Europe this season. The club's leading marksman during their campaign, and he drove it so accurately beyond the sprawling figure of Paliuka. That's a great finish. Oh my word, he let fly there. Paliuka can't reach it. And now Inter have to come from behind. Mark Vilmots, the scorer. Showing his strength and determination there, Bergomi. Now Zamorano. Zanetti. Now Zanetti. This is Bergomi. Nicola Berti slipping past the tackle of Muller. They're finding it difficult then to evade Nemec, who took a whack in the face for his troubles. Very ungainly. The upshot of it all is a free kick to Inter, which Gats is preparing to take. Zamorano, a prime target in the middle. But it's no problem for Jens Lehmann. Lending his support on from Berti. Rather tentatively, though. Oh, Zanetti out Foxington. Zamorano. Oh, they got terrific height there. But the header didn't trouble Lehmann. Well, keeping a clean sheet could be crucial for Schalke. Max going for the 2nd goal. Not even close, it has to be said, but nonetheless, a shooting chance for the substitute, Martin Max. Well, now it looks as if he is going to have to settle for the 1 goal. Off the head of Winter to Eigenrauch. We're now into the 2nd minute of time added on. Pastone wants to get on with it. Paganin. Zanetti having to backpedal. It's all over. The first leg has finished in victory. Just a one goal for Schalke. Scored by Mark Vilmots. A stunning goal it was too. With just over 20 minutes remaining. Olaf Thon outstanding at the back. And you feel he will have to be again in the second leg when Inter will throw everything.